Okay, my Facebook is opened.
Perfect.
And now I want to make you host.
And it's going. So just make me host and we'll go.
Hopefully the live stream won't stop. Okay.
We can't hear everything you're saying right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the internet.
Huh.
Am I the host?
Yep.
I'm Lisa Merchant, one of the cast of Monkey Toast. I grew up on the unceded territory of the Sayilks peoples, which is known as the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. My mother was a landscape artist. She was an oil painter, and nature was everything to her. It was her solace, it was her inspiration, and she passed that on to us. There was actually more photos of trees in our family albums than there were actually of people. She would often take us out of school for the day and take us up into the mountains with her, where she would spend the day painting, and we were left to our own devices to explore the woods. She definitely gave me an appreciation and respect for nature. She said we would learn more doing that than what we would have learned if we had stayed in school that day. I'm now so honored and grateful to finally be learning what I should have learned so many years ago about Indigenous people and their stewardship of the land. We want to acknowledge that all the performers tonight are on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Mississaugas here in Toronto, within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement, which is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis people, both recorded and unrecorded. We want to say thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Welcome to Monkey Toast, the improvised talk show, live online. Chris Siddiqui, Dale Boyer, that's not her dog, Paloma Nunez, Lisa Merchant, I got a new headshot, it's nice. Kristen Rasmussen, holding a nice Herbie Bar. Our special guest, the man behind the Van Gogh exhibit, Corey Ross. Look at him, he's got different glasses on tonight. Music by Matthew Reed's All Dog Orchestra. Woof woo! Hosted by me, David Shore. That's me. I'm bald. How bald I am in that. I have a shiny head. Let's see there's my shiny head. Hi, everyone. So nice to see all of you. Matt Reed playing underneath me on the keys there. And I'm, of course, as always, joined by The Clash. Yeah, there they are. The Clash. And The Clash are excited because tonight we'll be giving away free tickets. Yeah, we have 2 free tickets to Toronto's immersive Van Gogh exhibit. As everyone who's a Clash fan knows, the Clash were hugely influenced by Vincent van Gogh. So, of course, they're very excited. And, their song Lost in a Supermarket was, of course, inspired by the Van Gogh painting The Potato Ears. Yeah, it's mostly subtext. Okay, that was for Ron Tite. I try to do a little something for Ron Tite every show, and I just like to mention Oshawa. Yeah, because it's Ron Tite. Anyways, if you'd like a chance to win those 2 free tickets, and by the way, these are off-peak time tickets, and they're walk-through tickets, so you can't go right now, but you will be able to go. All you have to do is to donate to the show, to tonight's show. Our shows are Pay What You Can, our live stream shows, and there it is. There's the address. It's paypal.me/MonkeyToastToronto. That's PayPal. Don't pay Paul, pay us. All right, paypal.me/. I'm really verklempt tonight, people. We had a technical issue before the show. Anyways, it's all working, or you're hitting your screen, but I think it's working. PayPal.me/ or just slash, as we found it a few shows ago, Monkey Toast Toronto. And if you go there, you'll see my smiley face and this beautiful, look at that, it's pretty symmetric. And it'll say Nathan Shore, because Nathan's my first name, and PayPal won't let me go by the name that I'm called, which is, who's that guy? No, it's David Shore. That's me. The Clash know it. One of them's dead. Okay, anyways, I'm getting weird talking here. And all you have to do tonight to be considered for a chance to win those tickets is to donate any amount of money. We do appreciate everything. Sorry, I'm reading on the side here, notes from the cast. Someone's got their mic off. I thought it was me, but no, you can hear me. I'm doing a spiel now. My mother right now is giving me this. She's giving me a eye roll. She's doing her famous eye roll. Okay, let's bring out the cast. Say hello because I'm trying. Let's bring out the cast. Come on, say hello, everybody. Where are they? There they are. There's Dale. That's Herbie. And joining us on the I don't know what Chris Sadiki's doing. He's like a party of one. Let's hear it for Matthew Reed on the keys, everybody. And hiding behind there somewhere is Dan Galea. Where's Dan? He's up there. There he is. Oh, he's frightening. Look at that. Yes, that was scary. Okay. All right. Now let me briefly explain how the show works. In a moment, I'm going to bring in our special guest, and I'm going to conduct a real interview with them. Chris is very interested. Look at that. You cannot. Chris looks. He's solving crimes and playing whatever that is. Yes. Okay. In a moment, I'm going to bring in our special guest. It's going to be a real interview with our guest. The cast does not know any of the questions that I'm going to ask them, and then you're going to throw it to the improv, and the show's going to go back and forth between interview and improv. The cast is going to use the interview section as a springboard for their completely improvised scenes. Everything the cast does is completely made up on the spot. Unlike this part of the show, which is scripted. Tonight, it's on my iPad because my computer decided to run out of ink. Not my computer. Doesn't have ink. Yeah. My printer ran out of ink and I thought I should run out and go get some ink. But I thought there's a pandemic. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so here I am with the Clash. Always hanging out with the Clash people and the Moshe Dayan doll. Get yours online. Okay, in any case, that's enough of that. And we want to bring in our guest. But that's the way the show's going to work. We're going to go between interview and improv. It's going to be fun. It's going to last about an hour. And hopefully you'll be laughing at home because we won't hear you laugh here. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Now, one last time before we go away, if you want to make a donation at any time tonight or after the show, it's through our PayPal account. That's paypal.me/MonkeyToastToronto. And everyone who donates will have a chance to win those free Van Gogh tickets. Okay, let's bring out our special guest. Oh, in a moment, let's bring him out. Our special guest tonight, he's a producer and founder of Starvox Entertainment. He's produced the immersive Van Gogh exhibit, The Art of Bansky, the upcoming Illusionarium, which I think I'm pronouncing wrong. There it is. Look at that. Yeah, that guy's not drowning. He's a magician. It's magic. Okay, he's producing that. He's done touring live shows and does touring and live shows. Potted Potter, which a friend of mine was in. I've seen that show. It was very good. Bend It Like Beckham, the musical. Evil Dead, the musical. Trey Parker's Cannibal, the musical. There's a theme there. To name a few, please welcome to the show the one and only Corey Ross. Hello, Corey Ross. Thank you so much for being here on the show tonight. I'm going to take a breath, Corey, because that was exhausting. I don't know if it was exhausting to watch, but it was exhausting to do. I left you hanging there, Corey. That's what I did there.
I'm waiting while you have your drink.
Yeah, well, good. Thank you for being on the show. And I'm adjusting because normally I've got paper, and like I said, I ran out of ink, and so I'm looking at this iPad, and I don't know where my eyes should go. And Corey, I don't think I did you like a proper introduction. Like I've read all your bio and all this info about you, and I think I really kind of sold you short because you're more just really a live theater producer. How do you describe what you do to people? If someone says, "What do you do?" or like, how would you describe what you do to people?
What we do to people? We entertain people.
No, what you do. How would you describe your job?
We try to entertain people. I'm interested in whatever where the public, where the audience, where the patrons meet something performative. That's what's always fascinated me. And most of the time that's been in live theater. I've also had a career in the concert business. And lately we've done experiential. This is experiential entertainment. This is exhibits, art meets something new, something different.
And we have some photos here of the Van Gogh exhibit, which we're going to talk about a bit later. But I want to talk about how you got into this, because how old were you when you produced your first live show? You were quite young, weren't you? Your first
I was
theater
14.
14, so 14 years old.
Yeah, I had my bar mitzvah money, and I had to do something with it.
So, okay, my mother just gave one of these when she found out you just took your bar mitzvah money and put on a show. So what was the show? What show did you put on? What did you produce with your bar mitzvah?
Well, because it was my bar mitzvah money, it was the Diary of Anne Frank.
Okay.
It was on theme.
Was it the Diary of Anne Frank the musical? Because I noticed a theme earlier there.
No, not yet the musical.
Okay. So Diary of Anne Frank. And I'm curious as to what your parents thought about you spending your bar mitzvah money on putting on a play.
I think the part that they were most shocked about was that there was a theater that took my money. I marched into a theater and put down a deposit on the rent, and they accepted it. And they thought that was nuts.
Right. And were you in the show as well, or did you just produce it?
Well, I wasn't in the show. I was directing and producing the show. And at the last minute, one of the actors dropped out. So then I was also in the show.
Oh my God. So you wore every hat, like pretty much there was, except for lighting. And so how did you want to get into this? Like, you always read about like some famous athletes and performers who they trained since they were really young. They want to be a performer. They want to be, they want to be a football player, baseball player, ice skater, theater actor, ballerina, whatever. But I've never heard of anyone who's like, since they were young, they wanted to produce theater. So when did this start happening for you?
Well,
how did that come about?
I was producing because it was really the only way to get anything done. Otherwise, you couldn't be the boss unless you put down the money. So I had to either be an actor, and I wasn't a very good actor. So I was either completely in the back, or I had to be the boss. And to be the boss, it turned out you had to write a check.
And how did the Diary of Anne Frank? How did 14-year-old Corey Ross's 14-year-old review do? The Diary of Anne Frank? Did you make your bar mitzvah money back?
We made my bar mitzvah money back, and I made $2,000, and that was the start.
Wow! So that's it. You made money.
I went from, I think I had $3,000. I went from $3,000 to $5,000.
And after that, were your parents all in on you producing theater?
Well, they were all in. But what happened was the whole house turned into a production factory. So I had a rehearsal hall in my basement. I had a set shop in the garage. And I had everyone in the neighborhood working for me.
So was it all basically people from for Anne Frank? Sorry, because I've seen the Diary of Anne Frank, and everyone is pretty much familiar with it. Did you have adults in the show, or was it all?
No, I did not have adults. So this was all young people at this point.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So you didn't grow up in Toronto, right? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Waterloo.
From Waterloo, Ontario. And what was that like? What was it like growing up in Waterloo for you? Like, did you like growing up there? Was it a good place to warm up? Was it? Yeah.
It was a nice place to live. I was lucky in that both my parents were professors, which is what took us to Waterloo. But I was lucky. My parents were from Toronto, so we went to Toronto often on weekends. So I got sort of to live in a small town and go to a big town. And then also because they were professors, I got to take sabbaticals. So we spent a year in Israel. We spent a year in Boston. So I got around, and I got kind of a worldly experience for a kid in a small town, and yet still had a small town childhood. So it worked.
Corey, based on all that, let's see some comedy.
Excellent.
Everyone, I have some bad news, everyone. Unfortunately, Anthony had to drop out of the show.
Oh, no, not Anthony. He was the strongest.
Oh,
Yes.
he had the big solo song.
He has all the lines
I
and
know.
all the props.
I
Remember,
get
he
really
worked
bad
out that whole
stage.
dance thing, remember, with the stuff.
Yes.
I get really bad stage fright, so I just want to say that I think I could step in his place if you need me,
Oh, Corrine,
but I might
don't
need
know.
to wear a diaper.
Oh, geez, Corrine.
We can't fit diapers under our onesies. Oh,
We don't have we don't have a budget for diapers, too.
What are we
Look,
gonna
everyone,
do?
I knew. Yes, sorry, Jermaine. You had a question?
I was gonna say that I would do it, but somebody's gotta hold the rope.
Yes, I know. I had a feeling this might happen. So, yes, please.
I'll hold the
Janine.
rope. I'll hold the rope.
That
Well,
doesn't
Janine,
make
we need
sense.
you-
I'm holding the rope.
Janine, we need you to press play on the iPod.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, Vanessa.
well, I would do it, but then who's going to turn on the big fan for the glitter scene?
It's true. We do need that. Yes. Vanessa too.
Yes. Okay. Oh, that's me. Yeah. I will push the play on the iPad, and
Wait! I thought I was pushing a button.
but if you take the place,
Genevieve, you have a question, Genevieve?
I'm having trouble with the fog machine.
Okay, look, everyone, I had a feeling that this would happen. I am going to take over. Okay, I will do the singing and the dancing. I know all the words and the part. I wrote the show myself anyway. I mean,
You wrote Macbeth?
Oh, you're not supposed to say it. Oh,
that's
no, we
really
have
bad work.
everybody
Oh, we have to
hold on,
turn
we all have
around
to- yes,
and
hold on.
do the spinning thing.
Oh, I can't turn around and get dizzy.
I get choked by my cord. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh
Okay, curse be stricken, curse be stricken.
Oh no!
no, we lost. Where's
Vanessa,
Everyone, bad news, bad news. Vanessa just dropped out of the show just now.
what?
since
Meanwhile, at a costume
so-
department. This is where the capes go.
Yeah, you found the cape spot.
I did.
I'm happy that you're finding your way.
I love working in a costume department. All the
Oh my God.
textures.
I know all the textiles.
And to be honest, Claire, it's like I'm not a people person. So it's been fun to work in a job that's like I'm surrounded by things that resemble people, but I don't have to really deal with people.
Oh my God, I know. Tell me about how many days I have been talking to these like sewing dummies. My God. Like
Oh my goodness.
if they could talk, the amount of tears they would share.
Oh no, I tell them all my secrets.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like this sewing dummy here.
I
This
know.
one, I swear to God, sometimes I think this sewing dummy here, like I feel like sometimes she talks back to me.
Honestly,
Shut up.
Like she's really pissy, you know? Like
yeah.
I say my problems, but then she
Yeah.
like tells me off about it.
Oh my
Claire.
God, you're tragic. You're pathetic.
Claire, you can't let anyone talk to you that way, whether they're a mannequin, a sewing dummy, or your husband, partner, or manager.
We're called Judy.
Oh no. I mean, listen.
We're called Judy. We're not
Judy.
dummies.
Dress Judy's. Listen, the dress Judy talks to me the way that everybody talks to me, and quite frankly, you know, I find it comforting. I find it comforting. I do. Yeah, I mean, you should have a talk with her. Sometimes she just gives some like really like right spot on.
Chop.
I have been having a hard time connecting with my teenage daughter. Maybe Judy can help me with that.
Probably.
How old is she?
Judy, my 13-year-old daughter told me she doesn't respect me.
No, she can't. She's 13. If she respects you, she is out of the club at school. Like, come on. Don't you remember, Ding Dong?
Oh my God. Of course I remember being 13. I couldn't respect my mother. All the girls at school would say, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Thanks, Judy.
Yeah. You know, Judy, I was thinking tonight, like, should I try sauerkraut again, or is that going to end badly?
Oh, God. Remember, sauerkraut and you just are not made to be friends.
meanwhile, on a cruise liner. So, is this the first ship you've ever purchased?
Tis the first ship that I've ever purchased. I'm
Quite shocking.
excited. What?
Quite shocking. I've never seen, I mean, the captain's hat barely fits you. You're what, 13, 12?
Yes, I am. But I used my bar mitzvah money.
Well, wow, what a bar mitzvah. You bought a ship?
I had quite a big one this year, yes. I'm a man now.
Yes, well, that's what some would say. Can you read the sextant? I'm sorry, what?
You
What's
said
so funny?
You said sextant.
I did. It's how you navigate a giant ship.
Captain, something's wrong with the rudders, and half of the men have abandoned ship. What would you like me to do?
Oh, wow. You know what? Honestly, it's on you now. You own the ship. What kind of call do you want to make? Should we all jump overboard? Should I see if I can recruit some more people? Or do you think you can fix the rudder?
No. I think I can fix the rudder. I'm a really good swimmer. I took lessons.
I should also let you know, Captain, there's a giant iceberg ahead of us and behind us and
Wow.
surrounding us.
Wow.
I'll go
Somebody
and check on the
wasn't
engine
reading
room.
the sextant very well. Honestly, kid.
You said sextant. You don't hear that? It's like totally like that's like gross sex stuff.
Yes, sex. Sex, horny sex. I need you to go down in the basement of the broiler of the ship, and you need to put on the brakes full steam. Which means the opposite of what you think it means.
Oh, really? You want me to stop as fast as I can? All right, I'll go. Yeah.
Broiler of the ship.
There, we stopped.
Excellent work. You know what? I've got to say, for a 12, 13-year-old kid, you're pretty good.
I'm full of energy.
Cut to an office tower with Herbie downtown Toronto. So, you have an idea for an immersive ship exhibit?
Yeah.
Share.
I call it Love Boat. The music.
Okay. Sorry,
White
Lorraine.
wine.
Yes.
Anyone want some white wine?
Yeah,
Please, I'll take two.
Lorraine, give
Two.
everybody a round of white wine, please. Yes,
you.
yes.
Good Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, it's Pinot Grigio. All right, Lorraine, yes, thank you.
I'm only 13, so I really can't.
Oh, here you go.
Well, if you're going to play in the big game, you start drinking Pinot Grigio now. Yeah, sorry, go on. Yes, immersive ship.
Yeah. It's called Love Boat, the musical.
Okay. I don't know why you're shouting about that, but
I'm excited by it. Think about it.
Sorry, Rory. Rory, can you step in here? Or do we have any legal issues with Love Boat the musical?
As far as I can see, not yet. I mean, it's a property that has been jumped around from network to network. So I don't see why we can't let this 13-year-old Jewish boy use his money on this musical.
I bought the rights.
Rory, you don't think there's going to be a problem with or people misinterpreting when we did Love Boot the musical?
Well, I think there is an audience for it. We're going to get some backlash for it. Stacey, we're going to get some backlash as we always do.
Yeah.
We're trying to break new ground here. And
yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
They'll see that a young entrepreneur.
Listen, I can take my guilt elsewhere if this is too much of a bother for you. Listen, the last thing I want to do is create any problems whatsoever. I'm just here because I thought it would be a mitzvah, but if it's a problem, then I'm just going to take everything I've got and I'll move on to the next party because that's all I need to do.
No, that's not what we're saying. Rory, tell him what we're saying.
No, we have an invested interest, okay? When a producer such as you that has enough clout to come to us, we have an invested interest in watching something grow, okay?
That's right.
Our numbers, Stacey's take care of our numbers. Stacey, you're the number cruncher on this one.
I sure am. But if we've got a 13-year-old Hebrew boy who wants to share his guilt,
I am not getting any younger. That's all I am saying. For next year, I'm going straight into high school, and I need to get rid of this money. If I'm going to be investing, I need it to happen today.
And scene. All right. I don't know about you, but I love it when the cast goes Jewy on me. I do, particularly Herbie. He's good at it. All right, before we bring back Corey, I just want to let you all know that Monkey Toast is available for all your private and corporate and holiday virtual entertainment needs. There's more info on our website, www.monkeytoast.com, or just monkeytoast.com. And if you click on the Hire Us page, there's information there, and you can email me for more info via the website. And tonight's show, as you can see, it's pay what you can, and via our PayPal site, and there's the address, paypal.me/monkeytoasttoronto. And everyone who donates tonight will have a chance to win the 2 free walkthrough Van Gogh tickets. And I'll be drawing the winning tickets. I'll be drawing the name tomorrow, because I know not everybody watches the show live. Some people watch it later tonight, and some people watch it in the morning. But if you donate by 12 noon tomorrow, you have a chance of winning those 2 free tickets. All right, let's bring back our special guest, Mr. Corey Ross.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Corey, have you ever thought, has anyone pitched you Love Boat the musical? Is that something?
No, it's a great idea. I've already licensed the rights, and I'll have it all produced by the end of the show.
I think this is copyrighted. That's all I'm going to say. Isaac's move off the top of the show, I think you're going to have trouble with if you try and do that.
But maybe
Also,
if we go the other direction, maybe.
Oh, that might work. And I think Frank Grandy became like a Republican congressman, so he'll probably sue, because that's what Republicans do. But in any case, let's talk about the Van Gogh, the immersive Van Gogh, which is ongoing right now. Like, you can do the drive-through right now is open, right, in Toronto. That's correct?
Yeah, go by car.
Go by car. Right. That's the way to go. And Corey, so how did this come? Tell us how the immersive Van Gogh came about. How did you hear the show? How did it come about? How did you bring it to Toronto? Where did this thing come from?
Sure. So about 3 years ago, we began to think about doing these immersive experiences and experiential art shows, which were working in a very interesting way in Europe and hadn't started to really happen on this side of the pond yet. And the first show we did was a show called The Art of Banksy.
Right.
And that was a big success in Toronto. And a friend of mine, another producer in Toronto, a woman named Svetlana Dvoretsky, called me. And Svetlana really produces high-end things. She'll do the Bolshoi Ballet when they come to town. And I've known her for years and years. But every once in a while, she's prepared to slum it and do something that's a little bit more popular and a little bit less high-end. And that's what she calls me. Okay. And she said, there's this show in Paris that's a immersive art exhibit and about Van Gogh. And if you go to Paris and get the rights, I'll be your partner on it. So I got on a plane and I flew to Paris. And the whole time I'm flying over there, I'm thinking, what is projection art? How can that be interesting in a city where you have the Louvre? But I'm going to Paris. If it was Detroit, I had to go to, I might not have gone. But Paris, I was like, okay, I can go to Paris. If it's terrible, I'll just have a coffee and a croissant, and I'll still have a good time on Champs-Élysées. But I went and I saw the show, and what I saw in Paris was at a place called Atelier de Lumière, and they took this entire old factory and they projected on every surface. And it was animated, and you walked through, and it was experiential, and it was mind-blowing. It was filmmaking meets art meets experience, and I just stood there and I thought, this is the future. This could be the future of filmmaking, could be the future of art exhibits. It was something completely different and fresh that I hadn't seen before. So we phoned up the French producer, the guys that own this Atelier de Lumière. And I said, hey, I'm Corey Ross. I'm a great guy. I've been doing this since my bar mitzvah. And we would love to have the rights to bring your show to Toronto and make it a huge hit. And the French guy said, mais non, we're not interested. Piss off. And that was kind of the end of the conversation. And we started to look around and see, well, are there other projection shows? Are there other Van Gogh shows? Because Van Gogh is public domain. If you wanted to make one of these shows yourself right now, you wouldn't need to get the rights like you have to for Love Boat. You could get a slide projector and start projecting tomorrow. So we went around and we looked at other people in the world who do this, and we found that nobody was anywhere near the quality of what we were seeing in Atelier de Lumière. But since we couldn't do a deal with these French guys, we found the guy that I thought was the closest in quality, and he was still probably 50% of the quality of Atelier de Lumière. And we thought, well, if we give him a lot of money, maybe he can buy more projectors and do a better job than he's been doing up till now. And maybe it's worth a shot. And he was producing his show in London. Well, not in London, outside of London. And he was very excited because he had a nice write-up in the newspaper. So in order to convince me and Svetlana that we should close the deal with him, he ran back to his hotel room and he spread out the newspapers on the bed of his hotel, and he took his camera, his iPhone, and took a photo of all these reviews of his show in the newspaper. And in this photo, he managed to capture the newspapers on the bed very well, but he also captured himself from waist down. This is a life lesson. The man was not wearing pants.
Right.
Anyhow, we didn't know, do we have to hold our nose and do a deal with this guy or not, when my phone rang, and it was a manager from Italy, and he manages Massimiliano Siccardi, who is the key creative guy at Atelier de Lumière. And the conversation was, Massimiliano is also a little bit tired of dealing with these French guys who are tough to deal with. He wants to go out on his own. He's heard you're running around the world looking at everybody in this business, and would you consider working with him? And therefore, we were rescued from dealing with the pantless wonder in London, and did a deal with Massimiliano. So what he does is he goes into a building, and in our case, we end up choosing the printing press room in the Toronto Star. They don't print newspapers anymore in the Toronto Star. I don't know how they get their newspaper, but it's not printed in the printing press room in the Toronto Star. No. We went and we leased that building, and then Massimiliano came in and he looked at all the architecture and the brickwork and the beams and the columns, and came up with a new show about Van Gogh that's projected on all the surfaces and all the walls inside that room. And so that's the story of how it came to be.
Oh, that's amazing. You know what? Based on all that, let's see some comedy.
Hello, Mother. I can't hear you. You're talking too quietly.
I haven't said a word. I'm feeling. I'm just feeling right now.
I
think
understand.
Genevieve, your bedroom. I have a vision for it.
It's called puberty, and I thought I would put it on the walls.
This is what I want from you, to express your puberty in your creativity, not yelling at me.
Sorry, Mama. It was the only way I knew how, by yelling at you. And then, of course, I figured, I know, I'll express myself artistically. So, of course, I put everything in a weird hue of red.
It's so many tampons.
Well, those are dangling, and then each one represents, I don't know, a kiss.
Oh, well, since you bring this up, it might be time for me to share to you of my own puberty. I was not so lucky to have a tampon.
Oh, Mama. Oh, I don't want to hear of the tortures of the olden days.
This is why no one wants to hear about the olden days. Everybody just wants to think of things as now. Well, I walked miles to have my period.
Mine just fell out of me, Mama.
Your period?
Yeah, it just went, pah.
You're a woman. Be very careful.
Okay.
Be very careful.
Okay, that's why the tampons, Mama. The tampons remind me. Don't let anything in.
I'm a begging your pardon. How do you do? I sorry I enter your house with no permission. But I know it's very strange, but I was walking by your house and I happened to look up at the window and I saw this fabulous artwork that you have got all over the place.
And it's my daughter's, Genevieve.
I did it. felt feelings, and the only way I knew how to express was by smearing them on the wall.
Genevieve, you don't need to explain nothing to me, for I understand completely. For as I was...
She's had her Woman's Day.
Oh. Forgive me for even... Okay. I shall take a step back.
Yes, I need
Anyways.
a lot of space because it's easy to get pregnant.
No. I'm Italian. You don't need to explain to me because I completely understand. Listen, I just want to say, listen, this is something the world needs to see. We need to take this on an international tour. I don't know if you know this, but you, Genevieve, are not the only one who has become a woman. No, there are many more. Out there are women who need to see them express themselves on their own roofs. This could tour the world forever. This...
Genevieve, you must
Mama.
do this, Genevieve. It is your calling. It's your calling to let everybody know that we're more similar than dissimilar.
That's
This-
so true. They're so personal. These are my training bras. This is my first period maxi pad.
No, this is the Mona Lisa on her period. No,
Meanwhile,
this-
on a Zoom call across town, on a Zoom call. So anyways, yeah, I was thinking maybe we could get together, talk about some of those,
Becky,
yeah.
I'm not, this is so embarrassing. I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm locked eyes with your crotch. I'm staring down the barrel of your flower. I'm looking into your cod, and I'm wondering if I should get screeched in,
Oh, okay.
I don't know what to do here.
Wow. See, on my view, it's my face,
Oh my God,
on my
okay.
view. Yeah.
All right.
So
Am I in the right room here?
Oh yeah, you're here.
Ah,
You're here.
Sorry, Thomas
Perfect.
Becky, I am getting a full, this is a game of snakes and ladders here. I am
What's that?
I'm looking right down the barrel of your bazookas. Oh, okay. Well, this is a pleasant, different view for sure.
Listen, the truth is, I think we should just kind of we can just kind of get to the quarter, the earnings, of this quarter.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time actually, so that would be great. Thanks.
I would love to talk about the earnings. It's just that I'm looking at a bowl of fruit and two wells of the future. I'm very distracted here because I'm looking at one taco, a couple of buns, and oh my goodness, it's a full moon tonight, folks. Okay, where's HR? I mean, where is Kyle from HR? Has anyone seen Kyle from HR? Because I think if he was on this call,
go ahead. Yeah. Is there a problem?
No, you know what? Everyone looks great. So.
Meanwhile, in the time when wherever Van Gogh was from,
Hello.
I shall call it Starry Night.
Oh, well, it's so blurry. I don't know how people will. Were you crying when you made it?
It's a representation of the Starry Night. I would like to ask, though, Monica, my works, make sure they never reach the public domain, okay? This is too expensive. This is too important for people just to be using willy-nilly.
Oh, that would be such a travesty. That means that anyone could just use it and it could get printed on things like iPhone cases or
underwear. Who
And
knows?
underwear. You could get a Starry Night underwear. Honey, I would never let that happen to your work.
Oh, thank you. It is very precious to me.
It is. And now listen, I know this is hard to take right now at the peak of your artistic expression, but I'm leaving you. I don't love you anymore. I found another guy. Yeah, that's him.
Hey, I'm Taylor.
His name's Taylor. He sometimes he tends the bar in the town.
I
He
tend
also
to
knows,
dog.
and he knows how to change the shoe on a horse.
Yeah, I'll put a shoe on a horse. I'll put a hat on a pig. Whatever you need, babe.
Taylor, Monica, please don't make any of this information public domain. It might hurt my artistic integrity if any of this comes out into the public domain.
And scene. That was hilarious and very, very silly, I have to say. I like that. And what's my favorite line, I think? A game of snakes and ladders. Hilarious stuff. Oh my God. So funny. Before we bring out Corey, just want to let everyone know that our next show, this is our last show of 2020. So happy end of this amazing year. What an amazing year where I got to really hang out with the Clash more than anybody. Literally. Okay, but our next show is on Saturday, January 9th. And our special guest that night is four-time Emmy Award-winning writer-producer from The Simpsons, Frasier, Malcolm in the Middle, to name a few of the shows he's worked on. Jay Kogan will be joining us all the way from Los Angeles, California. He's also, he co-wrote and co-produced the cult classic film The Wrong Guy, which Dan and Matt and I were talking about for the show, which was shot right here in Toronto. So that is on January 9th. And you can get all the info, all updates about our upcoming shows by signing up on our newsletter, for our newsletter on our website, monkeytoast.com. There's a little sign up button there at the top. And tonight's show is Pay What You Can via our PayPal donation page. And there's the address, paypal.me/monkeytoasttoronto. That's paypal.me/monkeytoasttoronto. And everyone who donates tonight for tonight's show will get a chance to win the free immersive Van Gogh tickets. And speaking of Van Gogh, let's bring back our special guest, Mr. Corey Ross.
Hi.
Yes. Corey. Corey, I wanted to say, because I have to keep the show, I have to keep time everything in the show. I didn't have time to do it after you told us how the Van Gogh came here. But I know, like Dale, who's in the show, she was telling me, like Dale works for you, and she was saying you've had 170. There she is, it's Dale Boy, everybody. Yeah, you've had 170,000 people come through the Van Gogh exhibit so far in Toronto, and there hasn't been a single COVID like traced back to you as like an origin point, right?
That's great. We know of nobody who's had COVID coming to the exhibit. We don't know of anyone who had COVID after coming to the exhibit. It's possible that we are the vaccine.
That should be your next ad campaign, I think. We might be the vaccine.
I wanted to, but my wife won't let me.
No, well, yeah, she's probably right about that. But it's got to make you feel good, right? That your company, you seem to be doing everything right with regards to the pandemic and how to run this show. It's got to make you feel.
We worked really hard. I mean, at the end of the day, we have a great team of people who've worked really hard to keep everyone socially distant, wearing masks in the exhibit. We project these circles. You had a photo up earlier, but we project these social distancing circles right into the projection onto the floor, so people know where to go when they come in. And then at the same time, I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but we have the go by car. So if you feel like you wouldn't be safe in a public space, then we have an alternative for those folks as well. And they run beside each other in separate galleries. So same time as people are walking in one gallery, because the Toronto Star printing press was so big, there was space for two. We have the same show going on for people driving in right next door.
And right now, like the drive-through is pretty much the only like outside of your home entertainment that people can do in Toronto. Was this just a nice coincidence that you had the drive-through? Was it planned, or like was it planned from the start when you started working on the show, like with that gentleman, or was it like an adjustment you made knowing, you know what, there's a pandemic coming, we need to make this a little pandemic proof?
It was a pivot. So we started pre-pandemic. We were going forward with the show, and then of course in March everything started to shut down, and I was sitting there staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night, saying, "Well, the show must go on." And
a true producer.
That's right. True. That's why I was an actor at age 14 in my own show, and that's the show must go on. I have the show must go on gene. Yeah. And I realized we'd been doing construction in the Toronto Star building, because it was a printing press room, not a gallery fit for the public. So we had to get the washrooms fixed up, the fire exits, all that stuff had been going on since January. And I would drive downtown to see how the construction was going. And back before COVID, finding parking was tough and expensive.
Right. Right.
But they had this kind of rickety old ramp up the side of the loading dock where the Toronto Star used to load out newspapers, and vans would drive up into the Toronto Star building, pick up newspapers. And I would drive my car right up there and right into the construction site and get out of my car and say hi to the gentlemen who were working on washrooms and fire exits. So I had this realization when COVID hit and it looked like the end was nigh, that if I could drive in, anyone could drive in. And that was the seed of the idea. And then we invited a bunch of people to drive down. I think Dale might have been part of that group, to drive down and drive in and just see if we could all negotiate up there and get our cars lined up. And we did it. It was the early, like it was March, April. No one had left their houses. We hadn't seen anyone in weeks, and we kind of looked at each other outside the window, gave a thumbs up, and realized that we could do it. And that was the start. Then we announced it, and people just loved it. And it was sold out. We were running from 8 a.m. to 3 in the morning.
Wow, that's amazing. And what a great, it's interesting because I was reading, your assistant sent me some like info, like so kind of get some info, because you're very low key. Like you're not like a big flashy producer. There's no like art, like there's the odd quote from you online, but there's not a lot of info for like me to find. So one of your assistants sent me some info about you, and it was some things that people wrote about you, and there was a lot of Corey's great at problem solving. And I was thinking, well, like how, like what does he do? And I'm like, wow, this is such a great example of there's like a serious problem, and you had such a great idea to pivot. And let me ask you this, because you got another show coming up. Tell us about Jamie Allen. Who's Jamie Allen?
So Jamie Allen's this fabulous magician. I started getting into magic shows a few years ago, and thought that it'd be a great way to do something really fun and entertaining for families at Christmas. And so it just got bigger and bigger to the point where we're doing magic shows. And last Christmas, I think we did magic shows in Dallas, Houston, and Chicago. And so we have all these different magicians that we're working with, but Jamie Allen is this fabulous guy from England. And what he does is high-tech magic. So it'll all be stuff on your iPhone and lasers and technology incorporated into the show. We had done a show in Chicago a couple of years ago, and then Houston, I think he was the guy in Houston last year. And I wanted to bring him to Toronto this Christmas. And there he is, Jamie Allen, with I think his lasers around him. I can't see. Anyhow, he was supposed to come to Toronto this Christmas, and in April, May, around that time, we got on a Zoom call, like everyone does, to talk about what we would do. And at that time, we thought for sure, this is all going to be over by Christmas. This is going to be gone. Right. And we'll open his show in Toronto. But I was really busy working on Van Gogh as well, and I thought the exhibit space was interesting and getting more and more interesting. And I'm having this meeting with Jamie, and behind him on the bookcase is all these artifacts. If he was a sports fan, it would be like signed baseballs or hockey jerseys framed. But no, it's like magic tricks and books on magic. And I started to ask him about it, and it was like he had a magic exhibit behind him in his house. So I said, well, let's make what would be an immersive magic exhibit. And so that's what Jamie has created. He spent the rest of the year creating it. And what it is you wander through a labyrinth and come through a series of rooms. And each room covers a history of magic, from Houdini to Penn and Teller to magic of the future. And there's magicians and holograms and projections and smoke and lasers, and that's the experience. And you do it all socially distanced in your own magic social distancing circle.
And so that's that. I think you had to push back the opening of that because of what's happening now. Is that right? Like, but it's
so far we pushed back a week, and so I'm hoping that we open up in time for Christmas. But it's in even more former printing press space. So we have Gallery 1 walk-in Van Gogh, Gallery 2 drive-in Van Gogh, and now we're prepping Gallery 3 for Illusionarium. And I promise we'll open it as soon as we're able. We want to be the first thing that people can do as soon as this lockdown ends in Toronto. And I'm optimistic it'll be December 21st.
All right, that sounds good. You know what, based on all that, let's see some comedy.
Welcome to Magic of the Future. That's right. In the year 2193, we've adopted magic in all of our viable ways of living.
Okay, that was nice. Let's take it from the top, though, Terrence, because you had a couple spit ups with your mouth
Yeah, I'm
parts.
sorry about that. Okay.
That's okay. It really grabbed me. It really
Oh.
grabbed me at the start.
Yeah.
But then when you messed up with your mouth, the illusion was gone, and I thought you were a dumb idiot. So let's start from the top.
Okay,
Love
sure.
you.
Thank you. Welcome to Magic of the Future. The year was 2185, and we found a way to implement magic in every aspect of our lives.
Okay,
Look
so
how-
there, you really hung on
I
the
almost had
last
it.
part.
I
And this
almost
is a
had it.
family-friendly show, and
Yeah.
you had me thinking about butts in a major way, Terrence.
Yeah.
So
A major way, eh?
yeah, and I'm celibate, so that's a hard thing to do. But you just
Ugh.
lingered on that for so long that I started thinking, well, what about butts? And that doesn't really say Christmas to me now, does it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's
Can I
think
just
about.
actually say the music that we have going for is fantastic. I think.
Isn't it
maybe
amazing?
Could we get more music? Is there a way to do more music with it? Because maybe that will.
Yeah,
I don't know.
let's try some more music. Let's imagine those lasers because we
Yes.
don't have the laser technician today. So just imagine that. And then let's remember it's a Christmas family show. Little baby
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I love you. Go.
Great. Welcome to Magic of the Future. The year is 22 shit-eating 55, and your mother is just about to punch you in the face.
Okay, see, now you said the shit word. So I think what happened there is you got so horned up by that amazing music.
There was too
that
much
you
music.
forgot yourself.
Yeah.
You forgot yourself.
There was
what I'm
too
paying you
much
for.
music. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let me what if we dial all the way down with the music, just go super minimal, and I'll see if that they can complement the words and the music and complement each other, and then the magic can be more front and center.
Okay. Well, do you want to take a breath and just remember what you were hired for? Do you want to take just a minute and say a little mantra
I'm
to
so
yourself?
sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I paid for like a real experience and to see what it's like in the industry, and I really wanted that. But this is really hard to watch. So I just wanted to say, as a housewife, the butts part really got me excited. But the rest of it, is this what you do all day?
Yeah, actually, unfortunately, it is. When you're a live entertainer, you have to go through a lot of this, a lot of chirping by people who don't know the business.
This is an immersive experience of what theater and directors are like. I am an actor playing a producer. Like, think about that for me. Like, this is production, and this is what I'm trying to bring to you. And oh my God, this is good, isn't it?
Oh,
You should
Lisa,
channel me.
yeah, keep going.
Channel
Got
me
to
right now.
1,000 years ago in London, England. Yes. So I understand that you have uncovered some secrets. Is that true?
Yes, I've uncovered many a secret. I was digging over here, and look what I found.
Is that a rock?
It's a rock from the very earth with which we step on, but not just any rock. Look at it.
Oh. There seems to be some writing upon it.
Yes, it's the writing of the other man.
The other man? Whoa! Dare not put that in my face! I am your liege. Respect the
Yes, of course. But a rock with words doesn't just appear because a man walks by. It appears to give a message to the man.
Does that make you the chosen one?
No, I am simply the rock keeper.
Ah, the keeper of the rock.
I am the keeper of the rock. You are the man.
I am the man. Then hand the rock to me, please.
Yes, of course.
with this rock comes great wisdom. You understand that?
Yes. With that rock comes great responsibility.
What mean you by this?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, if thou hast the rock, then thou has the responsibility to
I
make
don't want the
sure-
responsibility. You take the responsibility. You take the responsibility.
You
no, I
touched
don't
it
want
last.
it. No, you have it. I
You
was
to a
proud and I
thou-
will kick
Cut to 1,000 years earlier in Atlantis. I don't know, like, what would you put on this dumb rock? Like,
Oh my
sap
god.
sucks?
You know how many like things I would write on that rock? Like, I'd love to write stuff like, oh my god, we're fish people.
Oh my god, we're fish people. And maybe
And then like they can like find it and then be like, no, this is a prank. And then they'll like come like looking for us.
they'll like jump in the deep sea and be
Cut
like,
back 1,000 years forward at UK in London.
Herbie, you're muted, but
I know I'm speechless. Oh, now I've disappeared. I'm back and completely in control. Whoa! The rock has cursed you, and now
It has cursed me.
We are fish people.
I've come from the future. No, the past. I've
The
come
past
from
is the past.
Atlantis. I've come from Atlantis to give you a message.
What is the message? Pray be thee with the wise words.
If thou carries the rock, thou hast the responsibility to deliver the message, or thou will die.
Then I throw the rock into the sea, and may it be found in 1,000 years from now.
Cut to 1,000 years from now. Hey, my name's Johnny Zipper. The year is 2285, and I want to make a projected exhibit about this rock I found.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I want to project this onto the walls and ceilings of the surrounding buildings of the city.
Mais non. Mais
Okay.
non.
Okay. Est-ce que je peux
Mais
anglais?
non. Mais non.
Tu parlais en anglais?
Oh oui, 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 oui. oui.
Oh, ok, c'est bon, c'est bon. C'est un rock, oui.
Mais non.
Oh, parce que qui quand le qui quand?
hey Julianne, it's your break. I can take over from here.
Okay, have a great day. Bye.
Okay, where were we?
Yes, I am a producer.
Oh, me and no.
No.
And that is the end of the show. All right. Let's hear it for all the Monkey Toast players. Lisa Merchant, Gail Boyer, Paloma Nunez, Kirsten Rasmussen, Chris Siddiqui, and Herbie Barnes. And let's hear from Matthew Reed on the keys. And of course, Dan Gallia for live editing and doing the live stream. I'd like to thank our very special guest, Mr. Corey Ross. Yeah. And you can still donate and help support the show at paypal.me/MonkeyToastToronto. If you're interested in booking Monkey Toast for a private or virtual show, you can contact me via our website, monkeytoast.com. If you have any family or friends who missed tonight's show but you think would like to see it, it'll be available on our YouTube channel as soon as it's done rendering. And everyone who donates by noon tomorrow has a chance to win the 2 walkthrough tickets at not peak times for Toronto's Immersive Van Gogh. So check out Corey's new show that's coming up, Illusionarium. Am I pronouncing that right, Corey? Illusionarium? Yeah. Gail's saying
Illusionarium.
Illusionarium. Lisa's being very French. I like it. And I think some of the cast has some things to plug. Chris, you got something you want to plug? You got some stuff coming up?
If whoever's watching, you can watch this show, but also watch my show called Bit Players. You can see that on CBC Gem and Amazon Prime Video, and Kirsten and Paloma are in it.
Nice.
And then you can also listen to nerdy thing I got going called Dwarven Moss. We play Dungeons and Dragons and get real stoned and drunk, and it's real fun. Let's do it.
That sounds good. Paloma, you got something to plug, I believe?
Yes, tomorrow night, Sunday at 9 p.m., I'm going to be on the show A Night with Trisha Black, which is a late night talk show. So check that out on YouTube and look for Trisha Black.
Very nice. Check that out tomorrow. Matthew Reed might speak. Matthew, you got something you want to plug? We hear your voice, Matt?
Yeah, guys. December 15th, a full-on musical comedy will be streaming. Mass Hysterical, a comedic cantata starring Colin Mockery and Chris Siddiqui as well.
Very nice. Please check that all out. Does anyone else have anything to plug before we wrap it up? But Dale?
Yes.
I'll be in my. Oh, go ahead, Dale.
Oh, thanks. I will. My play Night of the Living Dead Live, the production, the Off West End production, is now available for streaming on Broadway HD. Also, I have to say, please go to Immersive Van Gogh and Illusionarium. My boss is here, and that'd be sick if you did.
It would be sick if you did. All right, Herbie Barnes, what do you got to plug, sir?
I was just gonna say I'm gonna be in my basement mostly for all of January and February. Other than the 4 o'clock walk that I take around various neighborhoods in Toronto. So look for me there.
Look for Herbie there if you're
Just plug in your life, Herbie.
Yeah. All right. And Lisa Merchant is doing an all-immersive French hat class that you can sign up for. And Sam Joe Bevins, who's regularly on the show, is not here tonight. But if he would be, he would say, he lives across from the food bank, and he would say, please donate to one of the food banks in Toronto. So please do that if you can. And I'm going to be recording a new episode of the panel show. We've taken a long hiatus because the world's been shit. Yeah, and I didn't feel like doing it. So that's going to be coming out hopefully next week. And my new podcast, the Quizcast, will also be coming out, I think, in the new year. We're doing some new episodes of that. And some of the cast are in some of those episodes. So please check that out. And please join us next month with the great Jay Kogan. And thank you very much again, Corey Ross. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And we love you, everybody. Thanks so much. Good night.